This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. 1 week from today, Robin, you and I are going on a little road trip up to the National Association of Campus Activities Conference in Chattanooga. Yep. The reason we're going is because we were invited because our music lends itself well to a French cafe, and they want us there to do that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
and
awesome.
So while we've been doing the music forever, we've never really known a whole lot about French cafes. So in order to understand everything, to try to not look completely stupid, we went online, of course, and looked at these French cafe videos and some of the other cafes that you might find in that part of the world. And then we went to one down in Orlando. They have a French cafe down there. And I said to you, look at these cakes. Look at these pastries. Look at this rich food. How come all these people are so skinny? What is going on here? How come they're eating like better than I ever did? And how come they're so skinny and so in shape looking? Dr. John Anderson is on the phone. He is on the faculty of the Department of Nutrition in the Gillings School of Global Public Health at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He's also an author. He's written a book called The Mediterranean Way of Eating. Marilyn C. Sparling is also on the phone. She's a registered and licensed dietitian, recently retired from Duke University Medical Center in Durham, North Carolina. Is she also one of the authors of the book, Robin?
I don't
know. Are both people authors of the book? The Mediterranean Way of Eating, we'll find out. Evidence for chronic disease prevention and weight management. So it's not just about looking good, it's also about being healthy. Dr. Anderson and Marilyn Sparling, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Marilyn is a co-author.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. I thought so, I just wasn't sure. Well, so when we talk about the Mediterranean Way of Eating, does it include all these pastries that we see in the French cafes?
No, that's kind of not exactly a no-no, but the focus of a Mediterranean diet really is more on fruits and vegetables, fish and olive oil, and possibly some red wine along with it.
Oh, okay.
So it's really a healthy diet, one that is probably ancient, goes back along the Mediterranean Sea in many countries, and has somewhat different formulas, or not formulas, but really different kinds of foods that are selected in different parts of the Mediterranean. But basically, it's what I said, a lot of legumes.
A lot of legumes. Okay, so now in Italy, they say that they eat, like a dinner will take 3 hours. And they're also looking a lot better than some of us. So are they sitting a long time but just talking and they're not really eating?
Well, I think that's true. They do tend to eat longer. 3 hours is rather extensive. Must be there's a fair amount of imbibing of some kinds of drinks as well over that period of time.
I would think.
But basically, the Mediterranean family-oriented meals tend to be longer.
So I wanted to ask this question, because while we all want to look good, I think we want to be well, even more so. So it says here that there's evidence for chronic disease prevention. What kind of diseases will be prevented if we change our way of eating?
Well, let me start on that, and then I'll turn it over to Marilyn. Most of the early studies have been on cardiovascular disease, that is heart disease, stroke, and related conditions of the heart and vascular system. So that these have been shown rather extensively to benefit from the Mediterranean diet. We don't know all the reasons, but we know that the olive oil component it contains a lot of the micronutrients and also phytochemicals that are present in the olive skin. And these may have some benefits. The fatty acids that are better for us and many other foods. And so that may be a big factor in prevention of chronic disease and also weight management. So
olive oil is a key element. This is a good question for Marilyn, since you're a dietitian. I had heard, and please correct me if this is wrong, I'm just a radio guy, but I think this was a guest who told us this, that if you cook with olive oil, you ruin the health benefits. You're not supposed to heat it up. Is that right?
Well, you don't want high heat. You know, it's wonderful for sautéing. You just don't want it to get to the smoke where it starts smoking because it'll break down. So no, I use it for sautéing a lot. I just put a little in, and I'm not heating it that high. So it's true. If you overheat it, it isn't good. But extra virgin olive oil is the one that retains the most nutrients because it's cold pressed, doesn't use heat in the pressing, and it's the first pressing. So extra virgin olive oil is great. And let me say, this is not a diet that you go on or go off, or certain foods are eliminated. This is a way of eating that's healthy, not only for reducing risk of diseases, but if you already have some heart disease or type 2 diabetes, this is the way you want to eat to treat the disease, too.
You also say that the Mediterranean diet lowers the risk of breast cancer.
Yeah, that's a recent study that has come out, and in fact, there's evidence new evidence keeps coming out constantly about the Mediterranean way of eating, and it's the quality of the foods you choose and the way they're prepared, as well as the quantity. And I will just say, you can have desserts on a Mediterranean way of eating. You just have very small portions and you don't have them all the time. So you can have that rich little pastry, but you can't have a giant piece of it every single day.
Talk a little bit about diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. I heard just yesterday that if we cut back on our carbohydrates in this country, we would reduce the amount of diagnosis of diabetes type 2.
One of the aspects of the Mediterranean approach is that the distribution of the calories among fats, carbohydrates, and proteins are pretty much the same as in a traditional diet. The benefit is, though, that we get a lot more fiber from the plant foods. Animal foods do not contain any what we call plant fiber. So the fiber is probably what helps reduce the total caloric consumption, but the distribution of the carbohydrates is similar to our usual diet.
I might say also that it's the type of carbohydrate you eat. You want carbohydrates that are less processed. You want more whole grains, for instance, instead of all the white flour that's in pastries and things.
And your book is split up into 3 different parts, which is interesting.
Yes, the first part talks about kind of the history and types of foods in the Mediterranean way of eating. The second part looks at some of these chronic diseases like various cancers, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, obesity. And then the third part really gets down to practical tips and ways to eat that is very helpful for the ordinary person who's looking to improve their diet. Here's ideas on how to do it and what to look for.
So the average person who's listening to this and thinking, I got to get started on something healthy, this is a good start. What should I have? What should I have for lunch? Let's say I go to a restaurant and they have a salad bar. Do I just put all the vegetables and fruit that I want and then avoid, let's say, the ranch dressing and instead just use olive oil and vinegar or something?
Well, again, you don't have to go to extremes. I mean, it's not that you want to watch the amount of dressing. You can use ranch dressing. Don't use half a cup. Cut down from what you normally do. And as many of the fresh fruits and vegetables, you want a variety of them, but you don't have to eat something you don't like. Nothing is eliminated on this diet. It's not a diet, but way of eating. Right. No, and you can have some meat. It's just the Mediterranean way of eating emphasizes fish, especially cold water fish like salmon and trout and some of these others. And meat can be had. That's not a problem. You just don't have it very often, and you have smaller portions. So it's a very palatable diet.
Have either of you worked with clients or patients who have changed their lifestyle by doing the Mediterranean way of eating? And have you? Can you tell us a success story? In other words.
Well, I worked with patients for a long time, and one that's interesting is a person who had to have gluten-free foods. You know, that's a big thing right now. And when I started, people didn't know much about celiac disease or gluten intolerance. And by changing the way that person ate, he was able to control his symptoms, and he was in much better health after following the Mediterranean way of eating.
Oh, really?
I've got another example. This is based on a national study for reducing hypertension. And a diet was supported by the National Institutes of Health called the DASH diet, a dietary approaches to stopping hypertension. And we're not focusing on that so much, but that's a modified Mediterranean diet. And it includes a little bit of processed foods, and we're not really recommending so much processed foods in the Mediterranean pattern of eating. So the National DASH study has been shown to be very effective. And so sometimes people combine these two ways, the Mediterranean and the DASH diet, and say that that's the best approach for older folks who may be having a variety of conditions that could lower their lifespan or reduce their lifespan. But indeed, these diets are beneficial for extending life.
My notes say that the book includes recipes and analysis of the nutritional, analysis of whatever it is that you're deciding to eat. The book is called The Mediterranean Way of Eating. How do we get the book?
Well, you can order it from the publisher, crcpress.com, or you can get it on Amazon, or either in the hardback, you can get it in a paperback, or you can get it for Kindle.
And it's from Boca Raton. The CRC Press is in Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Anderson and Marilyn Sparling. Thank you both for being on the air with us today. Good luck with the book. I'm looking forward to seeing it myself.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you so much.
All right, we will be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. Thousands are already waiting on the parade route hours ahead of a historic visit to the White House by Pope Francis.
With a formal arrival ceremony on the South Lawn and an estimated 15,000 people in attendance. After the president and the pontiff make brief remarks, the leaders will head into the Oval Office. Administration officials say those talks will be centered not on advancing a political agenda, but on committing to shared values.
Fox Radio's John Decker. Baseball legend Yogi Berra has died at age 90.
Larry Berra, they call him Yogi. His very first time at the plate in the major leagues against the A's. And what does he do? He hits a home run.
He won 10 championships with the Yankees. 8 of his iconic sayings, like "It ain't over till it's over," were even included in Bartlett's familiar quotations.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. Fox News, we report. You decide.
Meet Vince. Vince hurt himself mountain biking on Saturday.
Because weekend warrior.
Because noob.
Hey.
Vince is supposed to host an important presentation, but he's not going anywhere in that cast. What should he do?
Rhetorical question.
Vince should try GoToMeeting, the simple way to host meetings online, complete with video conferencing and screen sharing. Send out a meeting link and anyone can join from any computer, tablet, or smartphone. Just takes a click.
Where do I sign up?
Visit GoToMeeting.com to start your free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
Do you run a small business? Do you want it to grow? Well, then don't let your business slow down or shut down because you lost your computer files. Get Carbonite and your files will be backed up to the cloud automatically. No matter how many computers, servers, or external drives you have, Carbonite has an affordable plan. Start a free trial today at Carbonite.com. No credit card required. Use offer code BACKITUP and get 2 free bonus months with purchase. Carbonite.com. Offer code BACKITUP.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
A 10 to 20-minute nap pays off the most. Any longer, and your body falls into deep stages of sleep, making you groggy when you wake up. Take Sam's Club, for example. They're so confident that drones will be the hot holiday gift that they're stocking a dozen different kinds, from basic models to ones that come equipped with high-res cameras or the ability to pick up small objects. Things we watch on TV can absolutely directly impact our mood.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Who doesn't love